guys, great to see you again. Today we are going to talk about what is AICC. So if you are in the world of online learning, if you're in the market for an LMS, and specifically if you operate in the US, you will come across AICC regularly. It is not necessarily a standard that is used outside the US, but certainly in the US, it will be common language to those of you who've been in the learning technologies industry for a while. So first of all, it's important to get an understanding of the background of AICC because it is on the wane. It is not as pervasive and used as much as SCORM. And perhaps the reason for that is the acronym actually stands for Aviation Industry Computer-Based Training Committee. So you can see that this standard, again, which came from the US, in the same way as SCORM did, was particularly formatted or particularly clarified for the aviation industry. So outside of that, it's not something that, is used with regularity. And certainly if you're looking for a next generation LEP, Learning Experience Platform, or a next generation learning management system, it's likely that AICC won't come a standard, yeah? So it is more the legacy or installed systems that might use AICC. So the AICC Group was formed in 1988 to really find a way to bring down the costs involved in computer-based training, very much similar to SCORM. SCORM arrived, more or less at the same time as AICC, and the idea with it is that if you can build AICC into your learning platform, then you get a standardized way of reporting, just in the same way as you do with SCORM and X API. So think of it kind of like a USB port. Anyone can create a device which they want to interact with a computer, but they need to allow that device to basically communicate out. So that's really the way AICC worked. So it's a specification that the content needs to have, and also the actual learning platform itself. So both of those need to be compliant in order for the report to spew out of the other end. So in terms of being compliant, AICC, you may find that some learning platforms are not wholly compliant, and they might say, I'm partly compliant. So there are 9 guidelines within AICC. In order to be truly compliant, you need to comply with all of those 9. So it's important to understand, do you need all 9? And it's important to understand that, partly compliant is not fully compliant. And if it is something, if all the 9 are, issues that you want to ensure are reported on, you need to make sure that they are specified as fully AICC compliant in your RFP or in your purchasing process. So the future of AICC is somewhat on the demise, shall we say. So in terms of a recent software device article, this basically surveyed 150 learning and development professionals who detailed the technical standards that they were used to. And certainly from the RFPs and from the purchasing processes that we have got visibility or have been to, we can corroborate this as well. So 62% of respondents use SCORM. 23 of respondents use AICC, but again, this is only in the US. So this is not a common standard that is asked for if purchasing is coming out of either Europe or Asia. This is really only in the US. And then 15% of respondents use XAPI. So we are seeing the shift of balance. ACCI is moving away, XAPI is coming up, and SCORM is going down. So that's what we're generally seeing in the market. So if you are looking for a learning technologies solution and you're outside of the aviation industry, I would suggest that it's SCORM and XAPI that you should be looking at rather than AICC. So in December 2014, the AICC Group was officially dissolved, which means that the standards, although they are still there and they are still relevant, they are not being updated and they're not being invested in. So this is another reason why maybe the shift of focus should be towards SCORM. And again, I've done a video on SCORM or XAPI. So I hope that was a brief overview of ACCI, and I hope it's helped situate some of the things that you might be thinking of when you're thinking about how you're going to report on your online learning. Thanks. Hi guys, my name's Juliette Denny, and I'm from a company called Growth Engineering. I hope that you enjoy these videos. I hope you give it a big thumbs up. I also hope that you comment and you give us some questions, because otherwise, how am I going to know what you want to learn about in future? So I want your comments and I want your feedback. And then most importantly, it would be really great if you could subscribe to the channel. And then when I'm delivering out new content, and hopefully I'm answering questions that you guys have asked me, you'll know when I post another video. So thank you very much. And thank you for being part of my learning tribe.